if you need aggressive polishing, something earlier already failed. We applied Uwazuri urushi on the pens. First time, maybe second, maybe third. But between each application of Uwazuri urushi on the pen surface, or any other object you're lacquering, for that matter, we will be polishing them. So as I told you before, it's additive and subtractive process at the same time. And those actions are interlaced. This isn't about creating the gloss, it's more about revealing it, because what created the gloss is everything you've done before. So proper dozuri, good moment for application of Uwazuri urushi, proper curing, and now you just reveal it. It should not be a hard work, unless you are polishing a door or table or something like that. Then it might be a lot. Okay, in this part I will show you how to use different tools, or maybe other materials, and a few tricks how to achieve a better gloss on your pens. We will start with the powders, magical powders, fairy powders from Japan. It's a migakiko powder, one of the most important development in Japanese urushi making in the last 30 years, I think. Mostly because the powder which was used before for polishing the pen was tsunoko powder. I have it still and I use it. And tsunoko powder is deer antler powder. So it's, as far as I remember, it's burnt and powdered, and it's ultra fine and has some characteristics which is better than migakiko, but it's very difficult to buy and to and much more expensive. Two other things are two other dozuri powders. One is green, one is gray-white, and they are mostly used at dozuri stage. But as you will see, it may happen that the surface of the pen after first application of Uwazuri lacquer, so kijomi or isehaya, reveals problems. You will notice scratches, you will notice unevenness, you will notice some different structure, more matte than you would expect. And it's a good idea not to follow with Uwazuri, but to go back to dozuri and use something more aggressive than just migakiko powder and start over. Those dozuri powders, so the green one and the gray one, are used with oil. So you can mix them with rapeseed oil, so tiny bit of oil, tiny bit of dozuri powder, and apply it on the pen. I will show you how to do it. This is like a very tiny bit of oil, just a bit of powder. You work it in, make kind of a paste, and you can use this paste with either the very fine and soft, smooth but short hair microfiber, or same cloths I showed you yesterday. So it's a bamboo cloth. I bought it off Amazon, and I don't exactly know the brand, but I love them. I will show it on the pen. I started vigorously polishing before. We just apply it on the pen and polish it. Nothing too complicated, but if you don't have dozuri powders, and probably it's not easy to get them, especially if you are not buying regularly something from Japan, you can substitute it with things which can be very easily found in Europe or United States. I use German polishing pastes made for automotive industry and lacquering industry by a company Koch Chemie, I think it's a proper pronunciation. My German is rusty, but it might be. I use the finest one, so microcut M3. Sometimes I get back to number 6, which is a little bit coarser, but still very, very fine. It removes scratches from 3000 grit sandpaper easily. So it's coarser than the 3, because 3 is evidently mostly for polishing, and the surface must be really well prepared for this. I would say that this one, the 3 stage, so microcut, is similar in grit to somewhere between gray and green DOZURI powders. Still much coarser than migakiko powders. Another thing you can use, but again from Japan, is a kiku-mol paste. It's a polishing paste sold in such small tins, and it works great on surface which is not on the level of migakiko powder polishing. Okay, how to decide that the pen is ready for the next stage? I told you in the previous video that while applying the lacquer, you can feel how the wipe you are using is gliding on the pen. You can feel and even hear it. With a little bit of experience, you will know that when the surface is, the wipe glides on the surface, and you cannot find any obvious problems under like 20 times magnification. It's ready for next step, and then you will judge it only based off the gloss you want to achieve. We will not use green DOZURI powder on this pen, but I will show you on 2 different pens, 2 different stages of using migakiko powder. So the final powder normally you would use in this process. We start with a little bit of oil again, but this time we apply much less of it on the pen. So just a tiny bit on your fingers. You rub it in the surface of the pen. And then migakiko powder. On this stage, I will use microfiber. And you can consider it first or maybe second polishing. So after first or second Uwazuri urushi layers. When it's polished, you have to clean it again because of the oil, and apply another layer of Uwazuri lacquer, so another layer of Isahaya, Kijomi, or Roro Isahaya, or something similar. But if the pen is on the next stage, so it's almost finished and it needs only a final polishing, you don't use oil and you don't use microfiber. The oil needed for this stage of polishing is probably enough on your face. Just a tiny bit, like an absolutely tiny bit of oil. Migakiko powder on the surface, and you use your hand. Either your fingers or this part of your palm. That is why you have to take care of your palms. Really, you have to use. You have to make sure that there are that your skin is not dry. You have to use some moisturizing cream, and before a session with migakiko powder and hand polishing, you need to make sure that there are no options that you will scratch the pen with your skin in some way. So it must be absolutely clean and soft. Doing it regularly makes your hands really smooth. Okay, and if you are paranoid, you can go one step further and buy tsunoko powder and repeat this process after another layer of Uwazuri with tsunoko powder. Tsunoko powder not just brings out more gloss than migakiko, but it also binds and sucks uncured traces of urushi from the surface. So it speeds up the process of becoming safe for the urushi surface. I sometimes take a break between last layer of Uwazuri lacquer and last migakiko polishing and tsunoko. I give the pen a week of final cure in the furo, a proper clean, and then hand polishing with a tsunoko. I use it only once, and typically on pens which are absolutely finished and ready to go to the final quality check, which is photography for Instagram and my website. That's it. I'm Michael, and you're guests of Tamenuri Studio. See you soon.